Hello everyone. I extend a very hearty welcome to you all for this particular program. I am Dr. Mrs. Vijaya Katti. I am Dean in the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. This particular program, Niryat Bandhu, has been a part of the DGFT's scheme in which there has been an effort to help the participants to convert their dream into reality. Those who are interested in starting their own export business, this particular program as a part of Niryat Bandhu Scheme has been converted into the reality with the help of the Premium Institute in the area of international business, that is Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. You are going to be the exporters. You need to know a lot about marketing. You need to know how to find the market, how to find the buyer. You need to know where to export, which particular product also. You also need to know how to get into the exports, how to start the procedure, what are the procedures, what is the documentation, what are the Incoterms. There are various technical aspects which are the agencies which would be involved, how to cover the risk, what are the different types of the risk. There are various finance related issues including foreign exchange, risk management, fluctuations, currency fluctuations. So all those things you will have to understand. We will be telling you about that into this program. We will also assist you in understanding the export readiness. I am sure this program will benefit you a lot. Program which is going to help you to convert your dream into the reality. What exactly are we going to cover? Yes, we need to look into a lot of issues, including, do you want to really export? Then, do you want to do something different which will be in terms of the exports, for which you need to understand the definition? What exactly is the legal definition involved? What are the different aspects which are involved while you are getting into the exports? Then, why do you want to get into the exports? What exactly is your idea? And what are the inner qualities which are required on your part to be an entrepreneur, number one, and to be an exporter in particular? I will also give you the idea about the total contents, total number of sessions into this particular program, and overall understanding about all those issues which are involved into the same. And last but not the least, there is a questionnaire at indiabr.com site which helps you to assess your export readiness. So, these are the overall contents, after which now I would like to tell you what is meant by exports, the legal definition. Term export derives from the conceptual meaning as to ship these goods and services out of the part of the country. When it comes to the international business and the export, there has to be a seller, there has to be a buyer. So, the seller is an exporter, the buyer is an importer. And to look into the legal aspect now, the legal definition part, it is actually defined as the selling of goods to a foreign country, and Section 2E of India Foreign Trade Development and Regulation Act 1992, the term export has been defined as an act of taking out of India any goods by land, sea, or air, and with proper transaction of money. Well, which essentially means that there are three things involved. The commodities, there has to be an exporter, there has to be an importer. The commodities need to be shipped out, that is number 2. And the means of transportation, communication can be sea, land, air. And number 3, there has to be a proper medium of exchange. There has to be a currency which is internationally accepted. Right? So, why do you want to get into the exports? You want to export because you want to earn the foreign exchange. You also want to do something different, and you also want to make sure that there is a constant market for your product, because within domestic market, woolens has a particular period fixed. The different aspects can be exported seasonally, but if you look into the international market, you will see that somewhere it is the winter almost every time. So the woolens will have the market into that, and you have some sort of an assurance, you have some safety net which is going to give you the constant flow of money. Of course, you want to have that particular entrepreneurial capability, risk taking ability, etc. You also want to offset yourself from the risks which are involved in terms of loss. And international trade is keeping you more competitive and less vulnerable to the domestic market and the different tantrums which you may have to face into the domestic market. International business and exports is going to give you definitely the foreign exchange, and the country requires the foreign exchange. So, yes, exports are very, very important. Who can export? Are you into that category? I am sure the very fact that you have joined and enrolled for this particular program puts you into the category of you can export. Normally, anyone who wants to do something different, anyone who wants to enter into the profit zone, anyone who has assessed his readiness to export and enter into the new field, anyone who is willing to take the risk, that is very, very important. Unless you are ready to take the risk, you will not be able to sustain into this market. And anyone who is constantly updating himself or herself in terms of what all is happening into the area of international business. Of course, you need to do the proper planning when you are getting into the export. Essentially, there is a business plan which is required. You need to put together all your ideas regarding identification of product, identification of the market. First of all, you must pinpoint your objectives behind exports, and you have to take a review. So you have to put the review mechanism in place. You have to focus on the activities, all of which will help you to become a successful exporter. You will realize one thing, that the course you have enrolled is going to provide you a one-stop shop, or the destination from where you can really get a lot of information. Successful exporters have always agreed that they have to target the new market, they have to adopt the appropriate export development strategy, and last but not the least, they have to make sure that every rupee they are spending, they get some return for that. So, the course you have enrolled is going to give you the information at one point in this particular 20 sessions, because otherwise this information is scattered all over. Also, there is one more thing which needs to be realized and understood, that the hundreds of the websites will give you so much of the information which is mind-boggling. And now it is not the scarcity, it is the proliferation of information which really demands a lot, in the sense that you must know what all you need to skip, you must know what all to ignore, and you must know what all is the correct information for becoming a successful exporter. And that is where this course is going to help you. Are you really an entrepreneur? You need to look into that aspect. What are the qualities which are required on your part? You need to be self-confident. You need to be task and result oriented, where profit maximization, perseverance, hard work, drive, energy, all these things are required. You need to have leadership qualities. You need to have some sort of an originality. You cannot be an imitator. You just can't, because he has done, your friend has done something, I will also do that. No, that is not the approach and attitude. You need to understand, you need to have that perseverance, you need to have that patience to really have the proper understanding of the market as to what are the things which are required by the foreign market. Normally what happens is, we give something where we are comfortable. No, that is not the correct approach. You need to have an approach where you need to provide what the that particular market is wanting. Then only you can be a successful. So there has to be a proper matchmaking. You have to have some foresight. You need to be future oriented. And unless you have that, because for that you need to have a thorough understanding also. So all said and done, you need to know a lot about the different aspects of variety of the issues in which we will equip you now in the session. What are we going to cover into this particular course? In first session, I am giving you all the basics about what is the legal definition, what are the different contents, how to really assess your export readiness, and preliminary basic idea about different aspects like marketing, risk coverage, etc. In second session, I am going to give you the essence and the basic steps for exporting. Third session is going to cover on introduction of ITC classification, how to assess the markets, from where to access the data, what exactly are the export opportunities in potential markets, deciding on product for export, identifying the buyers, knowing the competition, etc. In the subsequent session, we will be giving you the sources of data analysis, offline and online. We will also give some idea and insights into the data quality, popular information portals for the trade data. As you are all aware, Ministry of Commerce has DGFT, Directorate General of Foreign Trade. 2015-20 foreign trade policy is the one which is ongoing. The midterm review of this was taken up, and there are different schemes. So, DGFT and DGFT's role in export promotion, role of the different regional authorities, etc. What is IEC export import code, and how to try and obtain the IEC online. All those things will be covered in subsequent sessions. WTO has an important role to play. World Trade Organization came in existence in 1995. There are 4 basic principles, and these basic principles are governing the complete set of business regulations. There are different agreements which are part of this WTO's text, and some of the agreements have a very, very important impact on international business. There is a concept of preferential trading arrangement, which is part of FTA. We are going to cover the FTAs also into this particular session. MFN rate of duty is the one which is the most favored nation rate, which has been accepted by all the members of WTO. As of today, there are 164 members, and this is accepted by everyone. Exception to MFN rate is the preferential rate of duty. And this preferential rate, the different FTAs, India has entered into different FTAs. What exactly is going to be the impact, implications, etc., we are going to give you that. We will also tell you something about the non-tariff barriers. So, tariff is one. Customs duty is something which is a tariff. And this is MFN rate. But apart from this customs duty, the business is getting impacted because of different non-tariff barriers. So what are those non-tariff barriers? For agricultural products, it is sanitary and phytosanitary measures. For industrial products, it is the technical barriers to trade. We will give you an understanding about both the aspects, packaging related issues, and how to find out with reference to the export product what exactly are these barriers. There are websites for that. We will introduce you to that also. You need to understand and prepare a business plan. So, basic understanding how to prepare the business plan will also be given to you all through this particular course. As you're all aware, exports is something which is a legal definition, and it is a totally properly governed activity by the foreign trade policy. It is not like a Red Riding Hood story where you can add or deduct some of the part of it. So you need to understand what exactly are the procedures, what are the different documents which are involved, how to fill in these documents, what exactly are the Incoterms 2010, what is duty drawback, what exactly are the claims procedures. GST is something which has been introduced by the government. You need to understand about the GST also and its impact on international business. So, we will be giving you the idea about all these issues in the subsequent sessions. The faculty who is going to cover these sessions is the faculty which is one of the best in India. All the information is on the fingertips of our faculty, and they will be providing you the guidance. One more important aspect which is going to be covered apart. So, we saw the marketing related issues we will be covering. We saw that the WTO related issues and their implications will also be covered. We also saw that export procedure documentation related issues are also going to be covered. And one more area which is going to be covered is the finance related issues. And within this finance, duty drawback, etc., incentives, etc., we will be definitely doing that. And when we cover the finance related aspects, we need to understand what exactly is the management of international payment to ensure full and on-time payments. We need to understand what is letter of credit. We also need to understand UCP 600. We will be covering that also. Export finance bank schemes, cost reduction approach, how to do more export business with less money, The live cases, etc., will also be given by an experienced faculty. You need to understand FEMA guidelines. You also need to know what are the master directives of the Reserve Bank relating to export transactions. We will be giving you the understanding of that. You all will agree that risk management is something which is very important. When you are entering into the international business, there are different risks involved. So, you have to know that there is an organization, ECGC, which covers the risk. We will be giving you the understanding of that. You know, there are also commercial and regulatory documents for export preparation and handling. We will be giving you that idea. This risk management aspect, which will also be covered, and exchange rate fluctuations related issues will also be covered by us. When we are looking at all these issues, I'm sure you will also have to understand the logistics value chain in export operations. We will be giving you a clue about that also. When we are doing all these things, there would be different questions in the minds of many participants. So, those who are interested in having the live interaction, we will have the last session as panel discussion, where we will try to have officers from DGFT or faculty, renowned faculty members from IIFT, and the practitioners on one platform who will give you the correct answers to different queries that you have in your mind. Before we come to the last element, I would like to tell you something about India's foreign trade. India's foreign trade policy has the ambition of doubling India's exports to new heights. When we are exporting and importing, we have the trading partners. Who are our important trading partners? In terms of exports, yes, USA comes into the top, followed by UAE, Hong Kong, China, Singapore, UK, Germany, Vietnam, Bangladesh, and Belgium. This is the list of top 10 export destinations. We have top 10 sources from where we are importing the items. Which are those countries? We have China, USA, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Switzerland, Indonesia, Republic of Korea, Iraq, Germany, and Australia. So, mind you, USA is the top export destination. China is the market from where we are importing the maximum. So, to talk about the trading, which is export import together, which are the top 10 trading partners of India? Number 1 is China. We have a lot of deficit with China. Number 2 is USA. Number 3 is UAE. USA and UAE, we have surplus. And rest of all the trading partners, we are again suffering from the trade deficit. So trade balance is not in our favor. In the context of Saudi Arabia, Hong Kong, Germany, Switzerland, Indonesia, Republic of Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, Japan, Iran, and Iraq. Okay? Now, when we know about these things, we must know about the top export items and top import items. Before we really look at the top export and import items, I would like to highlight one more thing. Which are the countries where India is featuring in as largest trade partner and to where it is sum of imports and exports. So, China, we are very important country as we are importing a lot from them. USA, we are exporting. UAE is important because a lot of our exports are going to UAE. Saudi Arabia is one where imports of India are too much from that country. Same is the case with Switzerland and Germany. Next is Hong Kong also and Indonesia also. In terms of South Korea also, imports are too much. When it comes to primary export and import partner of specific countries, Bhutan, India's export is 95% of their total imports. Guinea-Bissau, 67.1%, Afghanistan 56.5%, Nepal 53.1%, Nigeria 30.6%, and in terms of imports, Bhutan 89.5%, Nepal 70.2%, Sri Lanka 22.0%, Burundi 18.5%, and Mauritius 17.9%. Let me tell you one thing, Mauritius is again one of the important countries from where we are getting a lot of foreign direct investment. Also, Mauritius is followed by Singapore. And now one more aspect and then we go to the export, assessing your export readiness. What are the top 10 export items? Gems and jewelry, textiles and allied products, chemicals and related products, agriculture and allied products, petroleum products, transport and equipment, base metals, machinery, plastic and rubber articles, electronic items. Which are the important items? Petroleum products, gems and jewelry, electronics items, chemicals, machinery, agriculture and allied products, ores and minerals, base metals, transport and equipment, plastic and items thereof. Which are the top 5 with export surplus and with trade deficit? Top 5 in export surplus are the items textiles and allied products, agricultural products, transportation equipment, leather and leather products, articles of stone, cement, etc. And which are the items where there is a lot of deficit? Gems and jewelry, machinery, ores and minerals, electronic items, and petroleum and petroleum products. Okay. Now, the last segment, which is about the assessing the export readiness. What are the issues which are important? As we saw from the contents, some of the things which are very, very important and they are a part of questionnaire which is being shown to you involve variety of the answers to different questions. Which products are selected for exports? What modifications, if any, must be made by you to adapt to the requirements of the foreign market? Which are the countries which are targeted for exports? Which are the countries where there is a lot of profile of the customers for your products? How will the product's export sales price be determined? Do you have the finances? Is your management very much willing for supporting you into your export if you are belonging to some export organization? What will be the cost in time and money for each element? And how will the results be evaluated and used to modify your research plan? So, export and different activities, are they really falling into the primary activities of your organization? How is the money going to be organized? How are you going to identify the market? Do you have some understanding about the markets, products, etc.? How much you are aware about the procedures, documentation part? How much is the readiness in terms of design, development, export pricing, awareness about the non-tariff barriers, etc.? Are you aware about the FTA, the preferential rate of duty, etc.? These are the things you will have to be ready with for getting into the exports. Thank you. Dear participants, I am sure you have understood a lot in this particular session. We really saw what exactly is the legal definition of exports. We have also seen what are the marketing related issues. We have also seen whatever are the issues by which you can identify the product, you can identify the market, and I am sure you have also got an idea about what are the different procedures related issues, etc., which are to be understood properly. We have also given you a little bit of understanding about the contents of the program, and you also know by now what are the finance related issues also which will have to be understood. And last but not the least, you have known what exactly is the procedure for assessing your export readiness. Thank you very much.